Welcome back to the Stade de France. France against South Africa at half-time. France, having scored that try just immediately before the break, are trailing South Africa by 13 points to 7. But so much encouragement, Richard Hill, for France having scored that try, that I think we can expect an explosive second half.
Well, you have to hope so. You know, for this game to ignite, you've got to want France to have confidence and to express themselves. That is when they're at their best. Certainly, this is the end of 2013, and they want to end it on a high. Going into this Six Nations, traditionally, this is France's Six Nations to win.
Which way are you going?
That's what everybody says, which France is going to turn up, and we're going to be asking the same question in this second half as well. But a pretty awful 2013. Pinch a win here, and things would look so different. South Africa, meantime, can be highly satisfied with the way that they've gone through this year.
Time you run.
Just a couple of defeats, and those were to New Zealand, and quite a few other people have been beaten by New Zealand this year. So away we go in the second half, and South Africa pile in right in the French 22. Parra with that trusty left boot. Get a lot of yardage on it there.
Now, Bismarck du Plessis did his job there. He put a bit of pressure on. He put more pressure on than France were able to do in similar situations in the first half. And certainly, as a consequence, South Africa have got the better return now and have got this attacking line out.
It goes from du Plessis. Bakis Botha is wearing 19. Pienaar plucks it out. France up very quickly. Stayed onside, which is good. Van der Merwe. Nicely set up. Ball goes forwards. France get the put in at the scrum.
Ruben Pienaar just took too much time there. He didn't have enough people blocking, so therefore he had to just get it away quickly from the breakdown. Not allow France to well, it's Pape again. I mean, he's had some nice little touches.
Spoiling tactics are working.
Exactly. If we go back to that line out, I'm very surprised South Africa. It wouldn't surprise me if they were looking to throw it to the middle or back, but quite clearly France are marking that heavily. I don't know why they just didn't go to the pod at the front and have an easy setup on a maul. Long way out from 22 metres, but they've still got the capabilities. We saw it earlier.
It stays up. Channel back on the South African side after Parra's putting. Away goes Vermeulen. Thales, one of the men bringing him down. So too was Shuli. That's just going to go forwards out of the hands. Tearing through goes de Villiers, on for his centre partner, Fourie. But I think that surely is going to be called back.
I think the ball went down, but I wouldn't be 100% sure that ball, although it got deflected, actually went forwards. I think it probably was thrown out with such velocity. Although it hit a hand, it actually still, luckily for South Africa, went backwards. And then, Jean de Villiers, great line. He wasn't waiting for a second chance.
I think you're right. Exactly. Deflected into the pass of de Villiers, and then Fourie was right on his shoulder and over. Well, France, I mean, done all that hard work before half-time to get back into the game, suddenly find themselves
great pick
pegged
up on
back.
The half volley. I have to say, Maestri won't be that happy. I'd be interested to know whether he actually thought that was a knock-on. He gave up on the tackle, or whether he just didn't follow through with it. But Jean de Villiers, great pick-up, half volley. Slightly angled himself in. Draw and give Fourie. Or be happy. Be delighted.
These two have been centre partners 28 times. Should know each other play by now. Fourie's 33rd try, if it's given, 33rd try in international rugby.
I can't believe we're looking at that. I mean, I can only assume that is definitely a try then if he's looking at that pass. No, this is the one that we're looking at. I think it's flat. I think you've got to give that. You've got to give the attacking team the benefit of the doubt there.
Yeah, look, it looked okay to me. I mean, at first sight, it looked dodgy. But he swept onto that.
Yes.
Gone through the gap.
He's moving, referee, Wayne Barnes moving. No. I'm surprised by that.
Well, forget all that talk of Jacques Faurie's 33rd try. Let's go back to 32.
Would have been interesting to, if he'd actually had both hands on the ball, and when it hit, you know, if that had been almost like a pass, and whether he'd have ruled the same way, whether he's just because he didn't have control of it, he's just gone with the forward pass. France have got a reprieve here, but they've got to shore up their scrum because South Africa are getting the ascendancy in that area. They had a great scrum against the head a minute ago. And it wasn't as if it was just a strike against the head or it was a mishap. France got the nudge on. They got the power going forward, and it quite clearly was then, yeah, hit back into the South African arms.
So Mutawarira, du Plessis, Oosthuizen, front row for South Africa, Forestier, Kaiser and Mas for France. Binding on the shirt, as you should. Down it goes. He's going to reset this.
Nicolas Mas is not happy. He's obviously believing that Mutawarira is doing something. The Beast is doing. Yeah, the Beast did look like he just dropped his shoulder there and actually dragged himself backwards, forcing Mas to come onto him. I'm sure he'll rectify that this time.
Set. Yes, right.
Creaking a bit. Oh no, down it goes. It's going to say it's going to stay up at the referee.
Yes, the other side
Immediately
this
it goes
time.
down, says penalty France.
Number 3 higher.
Oosthuizen.
Yeah, Oosthuizen just, by the time he landed, his right shoulder had just gone in then. Yeah, so that's never going to look good from a referee's point of view, particularly when he's stood right next to you.
So France get it out of that danger area for about the first time in this second half.
Mind you, that didn't look too clever either from the Forestier.
These forwards take some policing. Nicely done. Now France, bit of momentum. Curving, typical run from Fritz. Now Para. Vermeulen in there. Powerful man. Doesn't just stop them, drives them back as well. Dusatoir, French captain. France in there again, but they committed a lot of players there to get that ball back. Maestri wasn't one of them. Dusatoir doing a lot of work, having to move very quickly from breakdown to breakdown. Won by South Africa. Now away they can go. De Villiers pass, not on target. JP Peterson has already set off down the line.
We're seeing the French team, they're going singularly. You know, every time we see someone, you know, run hard, and we see it here, Fritz runs exceptionally hard. He gets the ball earlier, but there aren't any other options, and quite clearly he tucks it under his arm. He's going to do it. Maestro the same. He gets it. There's no outside runner. So every time a French player gets it, he's getting double teamed by South Africans, and they are big units. I mean, we're talking about. Was it 4 kilos a man you mentioned earlier? Was it 7 kilos a man? So if you take into account that's Para running against second rows, that's even more than 7.
Kaiser at the back, trying to do what du Plessis did for South Africa in the first half. They've got it. France have got it. South Africa penalised, pulling it down. Couldn't get at the ball carrier. Bakis Botha using his newly acquired French there, I think.
I don't think his French has had any influence on that. I think that's just Bakis, and it's his world-renowned reputation. He's in. Yeah, he is in there. Look, he's an enforcer character. I mean, that's his strength. He comes in, he's physical, and people don't want to mess, and he's able to use that to his own advantage. I'm sure there's a number of players who know him exceptionally well now after a short period within France.
Sharshevsky, Dimitri Sharshevsky comes on for Forestier, for Kaiser at hooker. Now Sharshevsky has been around a bit. Currently over at Racing Club, after being at Stade Francais for a long time. But he's the most mobile of hookers. Shuli with a take in the line. Great drive back by Saraka. There goes Sharshevsky. That's the sort of thing that he can do. Picking it up, going down the blind side, making useful yards. Now Thales on for Fritz. Fritz hits the deck. Parra's got to find it amongst that jumble of legs there.
That's outstanding work by Francois Lowe. Just when we thought that France were coming into it, Sawaski comes on, he showed some grit, he showed some fight, he gets them over the game line. Ball comes out, France hit it up into the midfield, but Francois Lowe just outstanding, just straight over top, arms between the French player's legs, just didn't allow him to get it out. That was never coming back.
Bath in the English Premiership benefiting from Lowe's great physical presence nowadays.
Quite interesting there. He wasn't part of the front line defence. He just marauded a little bit in behind, a bit like the good old George Smith in his bump would do. Just looking for that opportune moment to step in at the breakdown and steal a ball.
Finish line, Richard Hill alongside Nick. In the commentary box here, watching South Africa leading 13-7, 48 minutes gone in the Stade de France. Morna Steyn. Lost there by Uge. Found, though, by Maestri. France again. A lot of support. Everybody wants to see France get back, at least on level terms. Thales. I think we wanted that to go more central. Habana underneath it, but it's snicked away by Leroux. Duplessis plays scrum half as well, leaves it for Pienaar. Pienaar's another one of those men who's appeared in all 14 now matches for South Africa during this season, this year.
He's a man who's been rejuvenated, hasn't he? He's come over to, I mean, not that he quite clearly had a good reputation, but he's come over to Ulster. He's played in the Rabo Direct 12. He's played in Heineken Cup rugby and
played in the final.
And I think that's part of the maturity that he's developed. He's quite clearly a man that has been part of the galvanisation of that Ulster squad and made them what they are at the moment. Again, we've got the second half tactics, and South Africa, they have got the better kicking game. Whether that's Steyn, Pienaar, and possibly more importantly, the quality of the chase that's coming up behind them.
30 minutes to go. De Villiers, the captain. Pienaar again. Eyes alert. Leroux for Habana. And there's Guitonen. Trying to do a bit of tackling. He was surely hoping that he was going to see more of the ball in attacking vein than defensive, but that's the job. That's what he's got to do for now.
Jean de Villiers hit it up first, but then Leroux gets it. Unfortunately, there's just not enough space for Leroux and Habana there down their left-hand touchline. And Habana just got probably a little bit out-muscled once he realised how close he was to the touchline and how vulnerable he would have been to be thrown into touch.
Sebastian Vaha Mahina comes on and replaces Maestri. Born in New Caledonia, Vaha Mahina. Oh, proved elusive for the Springboks this time. Was Pape breaking away. He's had a good game, hasn't he, Pascal Pape? Pienaar, so quick to sort out his options. Oosthuizen. Pienaar again. Morgenstein. Fourie is in there. De Villiers right alongside him. Fourie lays it back. Pienaar. Mutawiria. Pienaar determined to keep this moving. Probes the other way. There goes Leroux. Is that a clever kick? They've got a bit of work to do. Just couldn't make it. Huget just didn't make it. Now has Lowe capitalised. Huget just let that one slip away from him. It was the kick through by Leroux. It was a clever kick.
For all intents and purposes, it didn't look like it was going to do anything. Huget actually gets a point. He's missed it, hasn't he? Francois Lowe, he's got the try.
Just clips off the boot. Ball spins away from Huget. He's not going to bounce back into his path. Ooh. Now that he got a hand to it, which is more than we thought at one stage. What do you call control?
It's going to have to go slower than this. Hang on, I'm going to get a coin out.
It's another one of those.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
How much did Huget get on it?
Blue grounded, so we're talking a scrum, green ball. Thank you.
Well, we've seen it. It's gone in favour of the French again.
Second time in this second half.
The whole of that was set up by South Africa playing far more direct than we've seen from either team in this match. Forwards and backs, it didn't matter whether it was both centres or the second row of Vandermeer, but they were hitting hard, and it was very uncomplicated, but it allowed Leroux that little bit of time, because the defence hadn't got set, to thread it through. It looked like a kick to nothing.
Did at first, yeah.
You know, they nearly got the ultimate prize out of it with a try, but yeah, they'll be confident now. They've got this scrum. South Africa, in my eyes, have got the slight upper hand on the scrum. It's going to be interesting to see whether French pride comes in 5 metres from their own try line, and whether they can get the dominant hit, but they didn't. South Africa got the dominant hit there. Oh, it must have been early.
2 replacements in the French front row. Shalchevsky is on, as we know, at hooker. Domingo is on too.
So the referee's pulled that back for the scrum half putting the ball in without his say. He hadn't called he could do it. They've just tried to go for the hit and trundle. I'm sure they knew what they were doing there, though. He's saying that Wayne Barnes is saying that's the second time they've done it, therefore that's why he gave the full penalty rather than the free kick, which means you have to believe that it was a deliberate tactic. The South Africa thought they were going to be struggling and under the pump a bit, and it was a tactic they were going to use in order to get good ball and quick ball, so the French couldn't settle into an arm wrestle.
Shalchevsky, Schulli, Para found himself in trouble. Duplessis up there quickly, so too was Vermeulen. What I like about Szarzewski's sort of talisman when he comes on as a substitute hooker, really hair flying, takes the ball directly into the opposition. JP Peterson couldn't get those long athletic legs moving. Picked up again by Pave, not forwards this time though. Referee Barnes waiting to see how this develops. Oh! And the answer is, it didn't.
Parot must be, well, can't be enjoying this. Off the line out, there was no protection for him. He's had to abort the kick. He gets hit by Bismarck du Plessis again. And then on the next opportunity, yeah, Bismarck's there again. Parot also put up a good kick. On the second attempt he actually put out an outstanding kick. It just wasn't a good enough chase.
13-7, as it was at half-time. Played 14 minutes of the second half. 2 tries, inverted commas, disallowed for South Africa. One by Fourie, one by Lowe. Pienaar, down the line, neatly done.
You can't help but think that South Africa are actually challenging France to actually do something. They're saying, look at the scoreboard, we've got it, and we're actually confident if you're in your own half, you're not going to do anything.
Yeah, it's almost the All Blacks approach, where you know that there's another gear, that if they need to, they can just shift up, go into turbo drive and pick up the points they require. Certainly what happened with the England All Blacks match. England were at full throttle and New Zealand weren't, and suddenly New Zealand just accelerate away. Anyway, let's see what's happening with this one. It's more important at the moment. Down goes Fourie. Familiar cry when Mutawaira gets the ball. Spain shovels it on for Alberts. Sort of half a gap which he used until Pape closed it down.
There is an excitement every time Leroux gets the ball. It's just the arcing runs he does. You don't know when he's just going to step off his left foot or he's just going to put it through, thread it through. But unfortunately, it hasn't worked on this occasion. France have put numbers in and got the turnover.
He's an amazing find for international rugby, isn't he? He only made his debut in June.
Oh, it looks like he's got a bit of claret for his trouble, though. I think we will be seeing a replacement here for a short period, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, off he goes.
It'll be interesting to see what reshuffle they do. I'm sure they'll bring Lamy on, but
sure they will.
It depends whether he goes straight to fullback.
18 lining up here. Another front row replacement, so all 3 front row replacements are on for France. Slimani, Stade Francais, made his debut against New Zealand earlier this month. Here comes Pat Lamy, winning his 32nd cap. Well, it only seems like about a year ago that he won his first. He's been around all that time.
It looks like he should be performing in one direction, to be honest. He looks that young.
It was very noticeable when they were walking down the tunnel before the start, and Heineke Meyer Lamy had got his tracksuit collar half turned up, and so Meyer just adjusted it as a very sort of fatherly gesture towards Lamy. See, making sure they look after him. Taking it to the back. Brilliant drive on by Alberts, coming more into the game in the second half. Here's Lamy. Tremendous versatile talent. Pienaar away. Gilan with a decent kick.
We sometimes talk about doing the unexpected so that a team don't know what's going to come up with, and you've got that extra edge psychologically as well as the physical outcome of it. But at the moment, South Africa aren't having to resort to it. They're just getting good returns out of just basic play. Putting territory on, they'll be delighted with an attacking line out on the 10-metre line.
It's in Lowe's hands. There goes J.P. Peterson. Steenkamp is 17 for South Africa. Replaced him with Weira. Gone forwards from de Villiers. Penalty anyway for South Africa.
I'd like to see a replay of that, see what that's for.
Tackle 10.
I don't think it's illegal to tackle the 10, so I'm assuming it was off the ball.
Bastareaud on the sidelines.
Marginally late. De Sutoir definitely trying to assert his authority and let Mornay Steyn know that he's in the game.
De Sutoir has been captain of France 41 times. 42 now. No, Pelouse 42. De Sutoir 41. So next time De Sutoir levels with Pelouse. This is Mornay Steyn.
He turned quickly. He knew that was going over.
First score of the second half.
Just a bit of ill-discipline that De Sutoir didn't need to do there. Certainly, look at the scoreboard, 6-point difference. You can take that up to the last second of the game and still win it. You've got the 9-point difference now, which becomes even more significant with the way South Africa play and the lack of complexity that they're putting on it.
Straight swap at centre. Bastareaud on for Fritz. Bastareaud and Fofana. That's a powerful pairing, isn't it? Oh, good charge down. Krzyzewski picks it up. Referee says, gone forwards.
Great to see France putting some pressure on the South African kicking game, though. Let's face it, we're talking about it. They know it's coming, and it's Pape again. That's 3 times now throughout this whole match. He's been a thorn in the side of Pienaar. Once when he went down to pick it up, and he said it, and he stole it, and they've scored the try. We got that one. He's having a significant influence.
Yeah.
And he caught Pienaar, didn't he, with the ball on the 22 earlier as well.
He has had a good game. Oosthuizen is still on. This is usually the time where he is actually coming on. But his first start has lasted beyond the hour mark. There's Gertrude Steenkamp, who is on for Mutawarira. Whatever the average weight of the pack was before this, it's probably gone up with the addition of Steenkamp. Leroux and Lamy, so that blood replacement reversed. Lamy's had one decent run. We've seen a bit of the action.
Leroux's too much of an exciting player to have whacked a heavy headband on and taken away some of his peripheral vision. Just leaves him a little bit susceptible to a little knock again now.
Trying to inspire their team. The Marseillaise rings out around the Stade de France. Steyn with it. Villiers, Mornay Steyn. There goes Leroux. Habana's off after it. And Gilan at the back. Uge. Para. Bastareaud trying to get in the action, but it's Fofana. Gutoun pushed out.
We're seeing the beauty there of South Africa and having a right-footed, well, a number of right-footed kickers. We've seen Pienaar take on a lot of the box kicking duties. Morley is saying quite clearly he's got a big, powerful boot on the right foot. But they've used Le Roux quite a bit, particularly on right-hand side passages of play, scrums, lineouts on the right-hand side. Put in a couple of passes, open up the field a bit and kick. He didn't necessarily kick that one the best, but again, we talk about the chase and they were able to squeeze them out. Bastareaud's on now, so you've got to be hoping the French team are going to get the ball in his hand early and give a platform that you can get a couple of the back row forwards to latch onto him, clean out, quick breakdown, and allow some of the bigger guys to be running onto the ball on the front foot and with speed and penetration.
Had the opportunity to use him there, and the missed pass sends it straight to Fofana. But he's a pretty big unit as well. Uge back on his feet. Division of labour on the replacement bench. French 5 forwards and 3 backs. South Africa 6 forwards and 2 backs.
Again, goes to show the nature of South Africa and how they thought this was going to attritional up front.
Exactly. I don't think they'll bring Vermaak on the replacement scrum half unless they've really got to.
Swimming up the side. Had an effect.
Swimming up the side, that's a new one on me. I assume that's just coming around the side.
Whatever it is, penalty for South Africa. Takes the sting out of the French riposte.
Not the most convincing kick there from Morley Steyn. Economical, let's say, on the amount of effort he put into it. But, they'll be happy venturing up towards the French 22, another attacking opportunity. I'm sure, whereas Bastareaud is a strength in attack, I'm sure the 2 centres are now going to try and want to play with him defensively. The South African centres are going to want to give option runners at him and try and make him plant his feet. Run into him straight away and he will smash you.
Vermeulen, Pienaar, de Villiers, Habana mixing it in there. It's come right off his wing. Oosthuizen and Steenkamp right behind him. Pakkies Botha. 3 runs into Steenkamp. There's not an easy way round Steenkamp. Slow stuff for Pienaar, trying to get it sorted again for Oosthuizen. Nice reverse. De Villiers popping up, coming on that angle instead of the opposite. He was across the field just a couple of seconds ago. Vermeulen in there, Pienaar. Here goes Steyn. The referee takes a long look at that, but it's drifted wide of the left-hand post.
But Jean de Villiers is the only one offering something other than just hitting it up hard and smashing it up. And I suppose with the success that South Africa are having, Oosthuizen there, and some of the bigger guys in the back 5 of the scrum who haven't got to use complicated footwork, they are just smashing it up. But de Villiers is just putting in a little step and it's just offsetting the French guys, and they're not hitting him cleanly.
Steyn up there, that's brilliantly won. Uge. Bastareaud's ready for it, goes to Dulin. Fofana. Kept his eye on the ball all the time. Brilliant.
The bit that confuses me with France and their kicking game is they took 2 really deep passes there to then kick it forward. Automatically meant that that was more yardage that they didn't have for people to chase it. It just puts their attacking support runners that much further back, and Habana managed to get that ball, and he played it quite cool. Had a look up, chipped over. Didn't quite get the return he wanted.
Bismarck Duplessis goes off. Had a good game. There goes Bastareaud. First time that we've seen him actually bulldoze his way through. Dulin caught by Fourie. Great defence. Oosthuizen is there. So too Vermeulen. Huget. Habana in the clear. Warnerstein makes sure it goes deep down the other end. This is better from France. A lot of yardage through Fofana. Buisson is on 21 at scrum half.
The benefits of Bastareaud coming on came to the fore there, smashed it up into the middle, and what it allowed them was that when France actually went to the sideline, South Africa didn't have the setup in defence they have for the rest of the game, and they were able to get over the gain line again.
About on the 10-metre line.
And again on the reverse, Huget had a nice little run as well. We are just looking for some foul play, I think. Oh, late hit.
Domingo coming in on Habana. Definitely not allowed.
It's a late hit. I can't classify that as a spear tackle, though. I think Habana's just leaning back slightly, isn't he? He's hit him late, but Habana's leaning back a bit, so therefore his legs went out in front. Look, he's got straight back up. He knows the consequence. That doesn't look so clever, but I still don't think it's a yellow card.
Yeah. Okay, this is what I've seen.
Habana just saying, let's be a bit more careful.
I've seen a man with his hips go beyond the horizontal. He's made contact with the top of his back. It's a yellow card. Anything to add?
That's why I don't referee the game.
Yellow for Domingo.
Beyond the horizontal.
Them's the rules. Balls, actually. So it's 14 against 15 until the very closing stages of this match. South Africa with a great chance now. Oof. In real time doesn't look any better either, does it?
No, I mean he hits the ground hard, and that's the bit that makes it look so bad. Habana's, I'm not saying he's influenced. It's just purely on the nature. He'd stopped. He started to lean backward to avoid the tackle, hasn't helped Dominguez.
Peter Stefanus du Toit coming on for his second cap, came on as replacement against Wales, first match of this autumn series. Making his second appearance. Lowe goes off. Lowe's had a great game. Great drive. France trying to get to it. Big Adrian Strauss dropped it. Did he knock it on? If he did, referee didn't see it. Here he goes again.
Captain, good.
Now, bit of room. Here goes de Villiers once more. Big tackle by Bastareaud.
First guy who's actually put a decent tackle in on Jean de Villiers.
Contest is still on. 13 went off his feet. Stopped it.
Fourie is the man Wayne Barnes says went off his feet.
And he did. It didn't help that de Villiers just started rolling into his feet, exactly. So he almost like lost his feet. He just wasn't in control as he approached it.
Niangue. Now this man's something of an enigma in French rugby. Never quite been explained why for 5 years he was out of the side.
I'll give you time.
But on he comes now, another one of these great athletes born in DR Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, playing for Toulouse. 29 years of age now. Sharshevsky, back for Dusan. What a good run by Dusan. Pape going forwards. Dusan again. Here goes Bastareaud. Stayed on his feet for another metre or so. Could have been most effective. Dusan for Tales. Hawkins Gutoun. Niangue in there. Bastareaud made a difference since he came on. Completely different perspective to the French attacking. 10 minutes ago. 9 points the difference. Whipped on, Sharshevsky. Habana goes in and over the top. Fourie was appealing for something, not quite sure what he's appealing for, but he definitely didn't get it.
No, I think he was trying to appeal for the holding on, but Habana's just come in, and the speed he came at, he just couldn't control himself. He fell on the floor, and you're seeing Habana. We're now going back. I think we're going back to see if there was an elbow leading with a forearm.
Okay, thanks.
I've got a feeling that... Well, we'll wait and find out who it was, but it's very much like the case that was in the summer when Bismarck du Plessis got a ball he wasn't expecting and he just led with the elbow. The initial contact didn't look so bad. It was the follow-through with the elbow that didn't look clever.
Fourie's head goes back, got it in the throat.
Sorry, mate, say again.
The first contact, it's almost like he tries to get his palm up to hand him off, and then it's the follow-through with the elbow, which it's not clever. I mean, Wayne Barnes, I think he's recognised that. It was the follow-through, so he's deeming it as a penalty, but not dangerous. Or deliberately dangerous.
Yeah, leading, it was the forearm, wasn't it?
It was almost, he tried to push. It was almost like he tried to push him away with the forearm, but the elbow got involved. And of course, when the elbow gets involved, it is a pointed implement.
Gutoun coming inside. Now Uge takes it over, and he's quick. Is he quick enough? Does he get the bounce? The bounce was just too high for him. Just wouldn't work.
After everything we've seen with the pitch, how it's breaking up, you'd think it would have not had such a dramatic bounce like that. He did fantastically well. He looked up, he saw the space, he chipped over. Amazing speed. Leaves Le Roux for dead, and then just lifts you at the last minute. Oh, that's a huge shame, because that would have been a great finale to the match.
Yeah, you'd have expected that to bounce flat, sort of straight up into his chest.
Number 6.
Instead,
yeah, too much
right
backspin. Yeah, you mentioned earlier that Le Roux, Francois Lowe going off.
Yeah.
Yes, certainly a man who had a big impact in the start of the second half. I thought by his standards maybe a bit quiet in the first, but the defensive qualities and the big hits he was putting in were certainly telling, and not allowing France to settle into any sort of attacking game.
Interesting call here. Dusatoir goes off because this is a scrum where, of course, they got one front row man in the bin. Lamy comes on for South Africa, replacing Mornestein at 10, but they've brought back Forestier, France, to make up the front row in the scrum, and taken off Dusatoir.
Interesting from South Africa as well. Mornestein, they've been operating off a kicking game, which has worked for them. Not allowing France to have attacking options. Now they bring on their running fly half.
Have you taken off Dusatoir, the captain at this stage? I think I might have kept him on, taking Nyanga off. Anyway, Chuli off the back, Bastareaud looking for it, doesn't get it. Dutin, ball goes forwards from Pape.
Still looking.
Playing on at the minute, less than 8 to go.
It was a hard blow from the referee, and Pape's down the floor holding his head. He doesn't look happy. And Jean de Villiers is being pulled away, this is not looking too hot for the South African captain.
Your own hands, you put a hand to the face.
Oh, it's
No. Slipped on at some stage. What happened there?
What's his...
So Pape's clipped Jean de Villiers in the head, and Lowe has returned the compliment with a push in the face.
First penalty that way, that penalty that way.
But he won't see any more action. It's the end of his tour. It's been a pretty impressive tour for him. A little bit discoloured by those 2 yellow cards that he's had during this autumn series.
France definitely need this.
Nice kick. First points for them in the second half, with about 7 minutes to go. Dutin, the replacement scrum half, is the man who nailed the penalty. So converted try for France in the last few minutes, and they could be on course for the win they've really been hoping for. The young man, Laurence Adrianza, number 18, Stellenbosch University, born in Cape Town. He's on for his first cap. Replace Yanni du Plessis, who's injured on this tour, this month's brother. He gets his first chance in international rugby now. Important 7 minutes for him. Dutin strong at scrum half. It offers something different to Parra.
Big hit from Dutoy there. He's left Dulin in a world of pain.
Far outside the 22. He's got a crack on the jaw, I think.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I know, yes.
Let's have a look at it. Knows what, going down.
Yeah, he slips on the way there, and there's nothing. You can't, I mean, you're a big guy like that, you can't be legislating for someone slipping as they're running into you. It's a big hit, massive hit.
I call it as a slip.
Clock stops with just over 5 minutes to go.
90.
Oh, looking at replacing Bakkies both there.
Yeah, Khaleesi.
I mean, he did come on very early, but
yeah,
still.
he did. Sia Khaleesi comes on, Western Province. Played in the under-20s last year when they won the World Championship. Michalak for Tales.
To be fair, it was something I was thinking about 3 minutes ago. You've got Michalak, who can be a maverick of a player at times, and you just think in this game you've got to conjure up a try probably now.
Strauss losing on the throw. Here goes Bastareaud. Fofana needed somebody right on his shoulder.
The other thing about Michalak is that he knows quite a lot about South African rugby as well. I mean, he's had his time out with the Sharks in Durban, so
he had a couple of spells of that.
You know, I'm sure he's going to recognise the players he wants to attack and those he doesn't.
That's Fofana trying to pass without looking. Back again on the French side. It's all going for them. Remember, converted try is what they need. That would take them into the lead. Bastareaud. Vermeulen brings him down. De Villiers clinging on as well. France will just be roared on for these last 4 minutes. Michalak appeals to the referee. He's not going to get it.
Adrian Strauss just comes on and clamps. He waited, he bided his time, and the ball just appeared. Slightly raised off the floor. And this was just when we were starting to see France play some of the best rugby of the game. You know, they've got to chase the game now. They do need a converted try. They've just got to make the right decisions. You know, we've seen one Fofana throw it onto the floor. We've now, unfortunately, allowed one of their own players to be isolated.
There were only a couple of penalties in the second half.
Steenkamp did a good job there. Just as he was making an attack, he's actually forced the guy to roll onto his back. Therefore, it means the ball gets held up off the floor. That much easier to target from a defensive point of view.
So Domingo ready to come back on after serving the 10 minutes on the naughty step for his yellow card. Pienaar. Strauss. Pienaar again. Vahaamina.
That's poor from Nyanga. Mentioned about the converted try needed, but it's now going to get to the point where they've got to score 10 points. Oh, sorry, 9 points in 2.5 minutes. Well, the kick's going to take up one of them, so I'm afraid that, to me, will be the game, assuming that Lamy puts over a kick. It's not in one of the best parts of the pitch. Yeah, it just comes around the side. The ball is
coming round there.
Sorry, look,
man, he's going to Clermont-Auvergne for next season. I don't like him doing that. Lamy, talk about the way that he looks, and he should be with Boyzone or somebody, but he's got enough experience now to know how to use up these precious seconds right at the end of the game. Lamy from Durban. Up go the flags. South Africa out of reach now. Pat Lamy with the penalty, and South Africa lead by 19 points to 10. Domingo comes back on, but I don't think it's going to be Domingo comes back on, and Forestier comes off, and Dusartois is back on again. So France now at full strength. South Africa still down to 14 because Lowe is still in the bid. Pienaar for Van der Merwe. And he brings it on for De Villiers. Fourie is there. Just about a minute to go. Pienaar for Khaleesi.
No, captain. That's all.
Ball's there again. Strauss. Channel back so quickly. Steenkamp. So they can just go through the motions up to 80 minutes now. Taking it out and then just taking it back in again. Khaleesi, and round the outside comes Slimani.
We will have one more play. It'll be a scrum to France, but I think on the basis of the South African kicking game, it's been far more controlled. It's had a better kick chase. When they've had possession, they have chosen to run it. I think South Africa have been the more forceful, the more direct, and as a consequence, France really haven't got going today, and that's why I would certainly believe that South Africa deserved to win this match.
Time up. So we're just going to see this scrum played out. Last move. France know they can't win it. South Africa know they've got it in the bag.
5, set. Yes, no.
And we've got to get one of those scrums which just goes down again. Well, France given the opportunity. Dusan. Nyanga. Dusan again. This is Bastareaud. This is Michelak. And Dudin.
First player.
Dusan, a very solid figure, but he can't do anything about that. Does actually find it in the end. Fofana. Dusan for Michelak. Almost snaffled back by South Africa. They almost put an end to it there. Michelak without any room to move. Bastareaud is going to have to use his weight and power. This is going to be the end of it. Michelak and Dusan don't like it. But that is the end of the game. Wayne Barnes whistles it up. Win for South Africa. That's the end of their 2013. Been a highly successful year for them, but another defeat for France.
Yeah, I mean, I've just had my say, really. South Africa end the year as the #2 team in the world. They have played a far more expansive game plan than we've seen for many a year. We may not have seen it today, but to me, that they deserve that ranking. I don't believe there are any Northern Hemisphere teams that can get up there, and certainly France weren't up to that billing today. Still a lot of question marks over France. The billing of their scrum didn't live up to it, and South Africa did a great job on that. To me, they've just got to play a bit more direct, and we saw that a bit more towards the end when they were chasing it. But quite clearly, they're a team that haven't got a huge amount of confidence at the moment.
There you go. 4 penalties making the difference. Try count the same. And